Thank you, Chairman. President Biden ran on the promise to build back better, and he won. He won because he promised to defeat the coronavirus and bring us back to prosperity. He also won because he promised to, quote, create millions of good union jobs, rebuilding America's crumbling infrastructure, from roads to bridges to green spaces and water systems to electrical grids and universal broadband as part of that Build Back Better plan. 80% of Americans support rebuilding our nation's infrastructure. Even President Trump said he wanted a $1 trillion infrastructure package. Yet Infrastructure Week became a long running joke for 4 years. How sad for the American people. I'm hearing criticism today from my colleagues across the aisle, but you had your chance. You had your chance for 4 years and wasted it. We're not wasting any more time. Americans across the country are serious about infrastructure, and we're serious about infrastructure. And that's why we're moving forward with the LIFT Act, with or without you. The LIFT Act will finally lift America's infrastructure into the 21st century. First, it'll modernize our electric grid and boost renewable potential and make our grid more resilient against natural disasters like hurricanes that Florida experienced and cyber attacks. We're boosting energy efficiency, and we're going to create an electric vehicle charging network across this nation, as was mentioned many times, including by Secretary Moniz. The private sector is already there and past that. We just need to step up. Second, the LIFT Act will rebuild crumbling drinking water infrastructure. From Flint, Michigan to St. Cloud, Florida, in my district, to cities and towns across the nation, we need to step up to help them. It recently made national news when an attacker hacked into Florida's water system in an attempt to poison an entire community. We need to support, and I'm pleased that we're extending this EPA program in this bill. Also, PFAS chemicals are a pressing threat to our community, and the LIFT Act would invest significant sums to help get this out of our water. We even had a cancer cluster in Central Florida among our firefighters because of PFAS. So we need to partner with local governments. Third, the LIFT Act would provide internet access to Americans across the nation, from precision farming in orange groves in rural Polk and Osceola counties in my district, to modernizing classrooms in more urban and districts areas of Orlando and Kissimmee, to making sure we have high-speed internet to learn, to conduct business, to have telehealth, among countless activities that modern Americans face every day. We need to make sure all Americans have access to internet. And finally, the LIFT Act will upgrade our healthcare infrastructure. We saw the COVID-19 pandemic laid bare our waning healthcare infrastructure. The bill improves our workforce capacity, expands laboratory systems and health information systems, so CDC and our hospital network can be better prepared for future pandemics. Secretary Moniz, in your testimony, you spoke about the grid upgrades that are necessary to accommodate distributed and clean energy sources. Speaking specifically on solar, which is really important for Florida, what are some grid considerations as more solar is added to the mix, and what upgrades and investments are necessary to accommodate both utility scale solar as well as distributed solar?
Well, thank you, Congressman Soto. Well, first of all, one of the issues with solar, of course, we all know, is that the sun peaks in the afternoon, and as solar becomes a very, very large part of the grid, and I'm very bullish on solar, I have to say. Clearly, the storage requirements that go along with it will have to be addressed. And as solar is going up, and California has seen this, then battery storage is going to be very important for addressing the intraday storage needs. But we still have some innovation to do for when solar gets really, really big, in terms of also what's called long duration storage, days, weeks, and frankly, even seasonal may become important as solar if solar is dominant in a system. But this is all manageable. I think the innovation programs need to be pushed hard in that direction. Secondly, solar has the unique advantage of being able to be deployed at utility scale, at community scale, and at individual scale with individual housing. So it's really an extraordinarily flexible approach. But again, we need to integrate it with storage in these cases, and battery prices falling down really help with that intraday storage. Now let's get some of those longer duration storage. We mentioned earlier, pumped hydro is a great solution, but it doesn't work too well in Florida, for example. But there are other approaches like flow batteries, et cetera, which could be used.
Thank you. My time's expired.